What's up, guys? This is Nathan, ThatAlbumReviewerGuy here, doing another album review. And today, oh boy, I'm going to be reviewing the new album from Black Veil Brides. They're self-titled, also called Black Veil Brides 4. And this is the band's fourth album. And it was produced by Bob Rock. And you know, Bob Rock has had some history in producing albums. He is responsible for what Metallica became after, you know, their thrash days, after And Justice for All. Bob Rock produced the Black Album and everything afterwards, and people were not too happy about all that. He also produced albums from Bush, Our Lady Peace, 311, The Offspring, and a bunch of other bands. But let's see what he does with this band. Well, the album opens up with the song Heart of Fire, which is a pretty weak song to open the album with. I mean, it's called Heart of Fire, but in all honesty, there's really no fire in this song. It's a pretty dull track. Faithless is a bit better than Heart of Fire. It's definitely a solid track, but I wouldn't say it's one of my favorites. Then we get into Devil in the Mirror, which has some nice instrumentation, but I don't really like the vocals at all, really, on this track. Then we get into Goodbye Agony, which has a darker vibe to it, and I do enjoy that. However, I feel as though the song is lacking a bit of emotion. It's a good song, but without a doubt it could be better. World of Sacrifice is another pretty good song. The lyrics are good and meaningful, and the instrumentation is nicely done on this track as well. Then we get into Last Rites. Read that wrong. Last Rites is a pretty dull track. It has a couple decent riffs, but doesn't really stand out. Then we get into Stolen Omen, which actually features some screams, and that's something the Black Veil Brides did pretty often in their earlier work, but they've cut back on it on recent years, and the screams do set the song apart from the others, but I wouldn't say this is one of my favorites on the album. I mean, after all, the screams are okay, and they're noticeably backed up by audio effects, so I guess that tells you that the screaming has lost its edge, because they needed to help it out. Walk Away is a nice change in pace on the album. I mean, it's a much slower and softer song. It does pick up a little bit about a minute in, but it still maintains that same vibe. I do like the approach that the band took on this track. Drag Me to the Grave is the next song, and it completely changes the pace and tone of the album. It's a more upbeat song than Walk Away, but it doesn't pack the same punch that Walk Away does. Then we get into The Shattered God, which is another song that just feels dull to me. I mean, nothing about this track really stands out, and it's also kind of disengaging. And then finally we have Crown of Thorns, which is a decent song to close the album with. I mean, it's not all that boring, but it's not all that exciting either. At this point in the album, it just sounds like quite a few other tracks on the album. I noticed that quite a few of the tracks on the album have the same exact style of backing vocals, like that stuff. Pretty much, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 songs, something like that, has that style of backing vocals on it. It makes me think that the band had no other ideas for backing vocals besides that one style that they used over and over again. And yeah, that's a bit repetitive and a bit dull. You're just hearing that over and over in a few different songs on the same album. And Andy's voice sounds a bit monotone on a fair portion of the album. This leads to a couple of songs sounding uninspired and just plain boring because he doesn't sound interested. He does not sound like he is putting any heart and emotion into the singing. So that just takes away from the song. Or songs, in this case. But it's not all bad. I mean, there are some favorites on the album, such as Goodbye Agony, World of Sacrifice, and Walk Away. And least favorites, Heart of Fire, and Last Rites. This album wasn't that impressive to me, actually. I give it a 5.5 out of 10. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm a huge fan of Black Veil Brides. I mean, I did enjoy their music. You know, Wretched and Divine, I actually did not mind all that much, and their earlier work I like as well. And I did see them live last year, And I thought they were okay, but it is what it is. What did you guys think of the album? Let me know. Social media, Crapoli down there. And I'll see you on the next one. ThatAlbumReviewerGuy, signing off.